Okay, so our article first starts with a scenario. It says, the kids go into their living room to see their parents. Okay. So I guess they've talked about it with themselves, and now they want to share their ideas.
Yep, and we see that Paige says, we don't want to have a barbecue this year. So this is kind of where I want to see like the dad's glasses jumping on his face, like, what? Kind of thing. If it was a real cartoon on TV, that should happen.
That'd be really cute, I think.
Yeah, I should have added that to the article and had it drawn in there. Never mind.
All right, so Jimmy says, barbecues leave behind lots of trash and hurt the earth.
Yeah, he's telling the truth. And Timmy adds, let's do something more eco-friendly, which of course we remember from yesterday. It means friendly to the environment, good for the planet.
And then Mr. Wong, I guess, after hearing what they have to say.
Yeah, and picking up his glasses and putting them back on.
Yeah, and he thinks that, okay, maybe they do make a point. He says, what do you have in mind? Now, have in mind is a phrase and it means, what ideas do you have? What are you thinking about doing? So for example, if someone says, let's grab dinner tonight, you can reply, sure, what do you have in mind? It means that what are you thinking about having for dinner?
Exactly, it's some kind of idea. So this is where we find out what they've come up with. Paige says, we should stay in our garden, okay? That way, we won't waste gas by driving to the park.
Oh, okay.
Before they would all get in the car or get on their scooters and drive there, but she's saying we don't need to do that. We can just go into our garden because that won't waste gas. Now, waste is a verb and it means to use something when you don't really need to use it, and therefore you will lose that thing without gaining anything. Now, a lot of the two main things we talk about are wasting money and wasting time. We say don't waste money by buying things you don't need, or I've been waiting here for 30 minutes and then my friend then messages me and says, I can't make it. What a waste of time. You've lost the time, you didn't get anything from it, so it's wasted, it's gone, and you can never get it back.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I know. All right, so next Jimmy says, we can also make less trash by using reusable plates in chopsticks.
Which was one of the ideas you mentioned yesterday.
I did talk about this, to use your own like chopsticks and plates and forks. Now, when something is reusable, it's an adjective and it means something that you can use again. Now, if you see re in front of a word, it's a prefix and it means again. And you can add it in front of something called a base word. So if something is usable, it means that you can use it again. Or you need to retype your paper, it means you need to type it again. Or reappear, to show up again. Recycle, we talked about this yesterday in our game. It means to let things like paper, plastic, or aluminum cans to be usable again.
That's right. Now, the difference between reuse and recycle is if you recycle something, you basically break it down, smash it apart, and then use the base materials, the glass, the plastic, the paper, to make new stuff. If it's reusable, you just wash it out and use it. You don't have to break it or burn it or anything like that in the first place. So bottles are reusable. You have a bottle of juice, you just wash it out and then you can put water in it or something else. Paper, that may be recycle. You need to recycle that. They'll give it and they'll do something so the paper can then be made into old newspapers, become recycled paper, things like that. So there's a difference between reuse and recycle. These chopsticks are reusable. Let's look at the word chopsticks, chopsticks. Chopsticks, we almost always use it in the plural because they're used in pairs, they come in pairs. We can say a chopstick, like my chopstick fell on the floor, but most of the time we say chopsticks. It's today's first word power word. Let's learn about it a bit more now. So a chopstick or chopsticks are one or a pair of thin sticks that are used especially by people in Asia to pick up and eat their food, okay? For example, we could say Eric learned how to use chopsticks before he came to Taiwan. Eric learned how to use chopsticks before he came to Taiwan. So that's one idea. Reusable chopsticks. So they use them made of wood or something, and they don't throw them away. They clean them, then they use them again next time. What else have they got?
Well, Timmy came up with a great idea. He said, let's eat fresh local food too. Okay, I think I mentioned that last time too.
You did, yeah.
So local food. Let's first find out what local means. It's also a word power word. It's spelled L-O-C-A-L, local. Local is an adjective and it means relating to a particular area, city, or town. So you are a local of Taipei if you've lived in the city for a very long time. We can say you're an out-of-towner or foreigner if you're just visiting the city. So, for example, we have a lot of wonderful local fruits in Taiwan, and that means the fruits that you can only find in this area. So mangoes and guava are local Taiwanese fruits. For example, we can say, Carrie went to the local 7-Eleven to buy some snacks and drinks. Carrie went to the local 7-Eleven to buy some snacks and drinks.
So using local food, now that's going to be good for local businesses, but how does it help the planet? Well, Timmy explains that will cut down on our carbon footprint. Now, to cut down on means to reduce or to use up and to spend less of something. For example, if you cut down on your spending, you spend less money. If you cut down on junk food, you eat less junk food, okay? So we're talking about making something less. Here, we cut down on our carbon footprint.
Right, carbon footprint is how much carbon dioxide is released into the air. Now, it's usually caused by people, us, companies, and basically anyone who is living on the earth. That's why I use footprint to kind of describe this this meaning.
Footprint is what you leave behind when you walk, so carbon footprint is the carbon you use or leave behind when you do stuff.
Right, and carbon dioxide is a gas that we have in the air. Now we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. And it also comes from cars, like gas, cows, because apparently when they pass gas, when they fart, their farts contain a lot of carbon dioxide. And factories, they use coal. So, you know, a lot of things that we use in this world today leave behind a lot of carbon footprints.
Yeah, and carbon dioxide gets stuck around the earth, and that means the earth's heat from the sun can't escape. That's the idea. So if you have a big carbon footprint, you make lots of carbon dioxide and the earth ends up getting hotter because its heat can't escape.
No wonder it's so hot now.
That's why it all works. Okay, so we want to cut down on our carbon footprint. Now, Mrs. Wang, she's listened to all this and she says those are great ideas. She likes it.
And then Mr. Wang agrees. He says, let's have a picnic in the garden then. All right, so that's a great idea. Picnic is also a word power word. It's spelled P-I-C-N-I-C, picnic. Picnic is a noun and it's a meal that you eat outdoors. Usually you can have a picnic when you're on a trip away to somewhere away from your home, or sometimes people have picnics in the park to enjoy the nice weather. So if you go on a picnic, you go somewhere else like a park or the beach to have one. For example, let's take a look at our sample sentence. We say, we wanted to have a picnic on Saturday, but the weather was bad. We wanted to have a picnic on Saturday, but the weather was bad.
All right, so that's their plan, and we see in the picture that they're doing it. The family is having a picture in the garden, picnic in the garden at night.
All right, and then Mrs. Wang says, have some more salad, dear. They're also eating quite healthy and clean, it seems.
Fresh. They don't need to cook it, so they don't pollute the air. Now we see Jimmy and Timmy. They're wearing pomelo hats, just like we mentioned in our introduction. Pomelo, it's youzi, I believe. It's a big fruit. It's similar to oranges or lemons. They have yellow-green skin, kind of pale yellow-green insides, and they taste a little bit like a grapefruit.
Yeah, and usually during Moon Festival, that's all we eat, because I think pomelos at that time are in season.
Yes.
So it's very fresh. Next, we see Jimmy saying, why are we wearing these?
Why are they wearing them?
I know it's kind of a silly tradition, but why do we wear them? So let's first take a look at our word power word wear. It's spelled W-E-A-R, wear. Now, if you want to use the three tenses, it's called wear, wore, worn. It's a verb and it means to put something on like clothes, a hat, pants onto your body. So you wear a jacket or you wear jeans and you wear shoes. You wear glasses, you wear a watch, and you wear perfume. Okay, so for example, you could say, I don't wear glasses, or he doesn't wear a watch. And now let's take a look at our sample sentence. It says, why are you wearing that heavy jacket? It's not cold outside. Why are you wearing that heavy jacket? It's not cold outside.
So indeed, why are they wearing pomelos? Well, Timmy explains they help see us and give us wishes.
Really?
That's what I found out. Chang'e goes, there you are. Whatever you wish for, I'll give it to you. She, of course, is the goddess who lives on the moon.
All right, maybe I should try to wear a pomelo next time. I'd be like, please give me this. I'll try it next time. All right, so next we see another scenario. It says, Grandpa is looking at the moon.
Oh, bless.
He really likes it.
That's what he wanted to do.
And then we see Grandpa says,
Happy Mid-Autumn Festival, everyone. So
I guess they had a nice eco-friendly Mid-Autumn Festival, and that we don't always necessarily have to have a barbecue. We can always do something else.
That's right. And that's where we wrap up for the day. So we're going to leave the Wong family and go to our wrap-up.